The moment the interview starts, Biafrans all over the world were shivering and panic in front of their TV because none of these interviews that have been granted to Biafrans is as powerful as this particular interview granted by Truümp and all of that. You will see show in this very video moment Ngozi Orabueze that represented Biafra, because it was Simon Ekpa that was supposed to represent Biafra in the course of the interview, but Ngozi Orabueze, in the absence of Simon Ekpa, represented Biafra, but she lied in the presence of everyone. She lied in the presence of Truümp and all of that, and it was discovered that Ngozi Orabueze told lies. Truümp that was granting the interview knew that Ngozi Orabueze lied on behalf of Biafra, but he did not want to disgrace Ngozi Orabueze by telling her to provide evidence, but he laughed all over it so that Ngozi Orabueze will not feel bad based on her lies. So I will play the full video in this video. Come and see the way Ngozi Orabueze was shaking and shivering in front of Truümp and all of that. You will see for yourself. So I will let you stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just do to share it as you're watching it. Share it to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'll come back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should believe you find for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just endeavor to click the red subscription button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily notify you. A lot of Biafrans have been shivering and panicking for the past few hours. This is one of the interview that Biafrans sit before their TV and they were shivering moment they watched the interview, because this is one of the greatest interview in the history of Biafra liberation and all of that. You know, Truümp have finally gotten into power and Biden is no more in power, but Kasala burst few hours ago. You know, Truümp did not invite Nigeria government to their inauguration and all of that. He did not invite Nigeria government to his inauguration. But that action speaks louder than any other pen. But the question came into Ngozi Orabueze in this very interview. Now, since Ngozi Orabueze and Biafrans already know that Tinubu is not having a smooth relationship with Truümp and all of that, they use the moment to move closer to Truümp so that they can get the liberation of Biafra once and for all. Now, they finally set up an interview for Biafrans so that Biafrans can come out to answer questions based on the liberations and agitation that they have been making all around and their allegation against Nigeria. So they asked them questions. They set up a panel of interview for them because America have said they are already involved. So they asked them questions so that they can answer the question, and if they're going to get their liberation, they will get it, and if they're not going to get the liberation, it will be known to the general public and all of that. But Ngozi Orabueze actually stood in for the interview instead of Simon Ekpa, because Simon Ekpa wasn't in seat. So Ngozi Orabueze is the representative of Simon Ekpa as it stands. Now, Ngozi Orabueze as a woman, this is a very strong woman that I've granted a lot of interviews, but come and see the way Ngozi Orabueze was actually shivering. She was shivering in live interviews to the extent that she lied, and how Truümp know that Ngozi Orabueze lied, but he laughed over it. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video, because I'm going to be playing the full video in this very video. So you can share the video as you're watching it. Just want to share it. Share to the social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you cannot share it, just do what to like it. Like the video as you're watching, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. You know, Ngozi Orabueze have granted a lot of interviews right from time, and she have always been the lioness in course of the interview. But this particular interview is a different interview. It's one of the most powerful interview because it's an American interview. Come and see the way they question Ngozi Orabueze. Now, Ngozi Orabueze, just to defend Simon Ekpa, just to defend KANU, just to defend Biafra, Ngozi Orabueze lied. Obvious lies. It's not even one, but there's a particular lie that is obvious there. That's not to tell you that I have a personal vendetta with Ngozi Orabueze. I love her so much. I don't have a personal vendetta with her, but the truth must be told. We need to come out to say the truth the way it actually is. Even Biafrans that watch the interview know that Ngozi Orabueze lied because of the interview, but that doesn't amount to anything. She was trying to defend her people and all of that. Now, I'll play the full video in this very video for you to see everything the way it goes. Don't forget, Truümp himself is aware of the fact that Simon Ekpa is in custody and KANU is in Nigeria custody. This man is aware. In course of the questions that was asked by him in this very video, you will notice that he is aware of everything that Biafrans are actually facing. Just stay connected to the end of the video. You will see show for yourself. So if you can share the video, share it. If you can share it, just like it. Stay connected. I'll come back again.
My name is Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. I'm the Chief of Staff and the Deputy Prime Minister to the newly declared United States of Biafra.
Thank you. And now, because I'm sure you're aware, in the United States and also in the West in general, there is a great deal of ignorance about Nigeria, about Biafra, about West Africa in general. Could you please fill us in about what is Biafra, what is the United States of Biafra, and what you are trying to do and why?
Thank you so much for that question. The United States of Biafra was a nation between 1967 and 1970. We were an independent nation. And we fought a brutal war with Nigeria between that period. At that time, we had our leader, Emeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. So, after that war between 1967 and 1970, when the war ended, the persecutions, the problems that existed at that period still existed to date. Problems such as marginalization, the killing of Christians, the lack of freedom, so many things going on against the indigenous people of Nigeria, of which Biafra, United States of Biafra, is one of them. So all this while, we were thinking there'll be a change. Several leaders in the past have thought there'll be a shift in making Nigeria one nation. But over the years, it has proved abortive based on several things that have been going on that have made the life of an indigenous Nigeria a risk. Let me just put it that way. So, on November 29, 2024, United States of Biafra, all Biafra indigenes from across the world, we gathered in Finland, in Lahti, Finland, to redeclare the United States of Biafra. We've conducted a self-referendum where over 50 million Biafrans have voted to exit Nigeria. We have met all the criteria as an independent nation, which we had before actually, between 1967 and 1970. So we have to redeclare that state in November last year. So that is where Biafra stands right now. We are a sovereign nation with a government in exile and a government in homeland with 40 states in Biafra territory. So that is where we are right now.
Thank you. Now, let me ask you though, you said that the Declaration of Independence was made in Finland. And so obviously it was not made in Biafra. What is the status of your movement inside Biafra itself?
Okay, so it was a concurrent event because we already have an established structure inside Biafra. We have the 40 state administrators, whom we call governors right now. We have 15 county in each of the state. And then we have the districts and we have the wards. So while we were in Finland declaring the United States of Biafra, there were activities also in homeland in all the 40 states of the Biafra doing almost similar things that we were doing. So we have a very strong relationship between the United States of Biafra government, from the Biafra Republic government in exile, and the homeland de facto government. We work together.
I see. And so I understand, however, that immediately upon the Declaration of Independence, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra, Simon Ekpa, was arrested in Finland. Is that correct?
No, actually, it was done before the declaration, just about a week or 2 weeks before all Biafrans assembled in Finland. The Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, was arrested by the Finnish authorities. It happened before the declaration, not after.
Is he still in custody?
He is.
Oh my. And I find that interesting, especially in light of the fact that another group, the indigenous people of Biafra, its leader, NNAMDI KANU, is also in prison. And what is the relationship between your group and his?
NNAMDI KANU is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Our Prime Minister for the United States of Biafra is Simon Ekpa. That is the relationship.
Well, I hope that Biafra will be able to proceed in a manner that is not done in by any internal factions. In any case, can you please explain to us what is the relationship between this Declaration of Independence and this very newly independent state and the persecution of Christians that has been ongoing in Nigeria?
Thank you so much for that question. The persecution of Christians in Nigeria has been very troublesome. It has been very, very sad. The recent IRF summit that happened in Washington, D.C., Nigeria was declared as one of the deadliest places for Christians to live, with a report of over 10,000 Christians killed in Nigeria. So we have a country where they practice two laws: Sharia law in the northern part of Nigeria, and then the secular law in the other parts of Nigeria. And if you are a Christian born in the northern part of Nigeria, you are forced to live by the Sharia rules. You may remember the case of Deborah, the undergraduate that was stoned to death just because she made a statement to the effect that Jesus Christ helped me. And then the Muslim extremists around her were able to pursue her, drag her out from the teacher's office where she went to, and they stoned her to death and they burned her. This is just one incident. There are several incidences where Christians are murdered and buried in mass graves in Nigeria, because the Nigerian state has a policy to reintegrate and rehabilitate non-terrorists into the Nigerian state. So when you are a government and you reintegrate non-terrorists into the country, what kind of country are you going to be building? So you have situations where the reintegrated terrorists, they take over the indigenous people's community, especially the Christian communities, like in Southern Kaduna, in Jos, in Plateau, in Biafra land. Recently, between December 2024 and today, we've had over hundreds of Christians that were killed in Biafra land by the Fulani terrorists and the reintegrated terrorists wearing Nigerian military and police uniform. This is what the Christians go through in Nigeria over the years. There is no solution. There is no comment from the government. Everybody just turns a deaf ear. And that was part of the reason why the United States of Biafra has declared their independence, because we cannot continue to live in a country where the government reintegrates non-terrorists into the police, into the military, and send them down to the Biafra territory to kill anyone that talks about Biafra, anyone that talks about their independence. And mostly all Biafrans are Christians. So that's what's been going on. There's several instances too.
So you are saying, am I understanding you correctly, that the Nigerian federal government is actively aiding the jihad terrorists?
Definitely, by reintegrating non-terrorists into the country.
Do you think that this is a connection to the fact that the former president was a Fulani himself?
Again, over the years, in the past leadership in Nigeria, we have had more of these Islamic leaders that have ruled Nigeria. So if you have been, I know as you are aware, Nigeria is supposed to be a secular state where we have equal representation of both Christians and Muslims. But the country is now an Islamic state. It was declared as an Islamic state by Britain without the permission of the Christians. So Nigeria has been dragged into the IOC without the permission of the Christians. So there has been a systemic plan to Islamize the country, where we are really right now. So it has been like that, and that is what is really going on, which has led to the loss of life of so many Christians and innocent indigents inside Nigeria.
Yes, thank you. With the leader of your movement in prison and KANU in prison, what are the real prospects, though, for you being able to establish a genuinely independent state that is free from interference from the Nigerian government and military?
Thank you so much for that question. So we've been following all the allowed laws that guide the establishment of a new nation. We have our geographical area already mapped out. We've been building alliances with countries like the Eritrean government in exile, the Ambazonia government, and several other countries that really recognized Biafra between 1967 and 1970, but never ever surrendered or said they no longer support us. So those alliances have been built, and we are following every step as a nation with the cabinet already set up, following all the due process to ensure that we go through the legal processes for United States of Biafra to be recognized as one of the newest independent nations in the world. So we are going through the allowed legal process by the United Nations, by the African Charter. All that is being put in place at this time to make our country recognized all over the world.
So have you received any positive responses from the UN or from other states, or the United States for that matter?
Again, all that is in process. Just remember, we just declared our independence in November 2024. So our legal department are putting all the right papers in the right table to ensure that those recognitions come. But like I said, we already got a couple of recognitions from some of our allies, and we are, the nation was invited during the Donald Trump inauguration. We were in Washington, D.C., of which Nigeria was never invited. And I believe there's several human rights reports about the injustices, the abuse of human rights, the killing of Christians, both by the United Nations, by the African Union, and other bodies. So we are in the process of doing that, and we're getting a lot of positive response in building a very free nation, devoid of jihadism, devoid of persecution, where human rights are respected, where people rights are also respected. So we are in the course of doing that right now.
You know, that's fascinating. Did you say that the Trump administration invited your group to the inauguration and not the Nigerian government?
Yes. Nigerian government was not there, and if you recently Trump has cut off the U.S. aid to Nigeria, about $1.2 billion that they send to Nigeria every year. That has been cut off. It has been stopped because the abuse by the Nigerian government is huge, but at every step, they have used the network they have either in Europe or in France to suppress the freedom of indigenous Nigeria, especially the Biafrans. So even the United, when they arrested the leader, NNAMDI KANU, there was a committee set up by the United Nations to look into the case because Nigerian government planned and they kidnapped NNAMDI KANU from Kenya to Nigeria. NNAMDI KANU has been in DSS dungeon now for almost 5 years, going to 5 years. Even though there was a committee on the arbitrary detention of innocent citizens, that committee of the United Nations sat and they ordered Nigeria to release NNAMDI KANU and compensate him. To today, that has not happened. So this human rights abuses is what even in the United Nations Committee on Human Rights 2 years ago, when Nigeria applied to be part of that committee. Nigeria got only about 2 or 3 votes. Countries like Ghana, countries like Kenya are making huge impact in the areas of human rights, in the areas of freedom of their citizens. But Nigeria has been it's just a failed state, has been deteriorating by the second.
Yes, that does seem clear. And it's an excellent sign, really, to get that invitation from Trump, because Trump, of course, has very clearly set out a path since he's become president again of trying to establish a new order in the world, not a new world order, which is what the other people are all about, but try to end some of the madness of the United States giving aid to failed terror states such as the government of Nigeria and the Palestinians and so on, and instead aiding genuine struggles of indigenous peoples for independence. And so I hope that that will be followed through by this administration in terms of genuine support for the struggle of the people of Biafra and aid for them to be able to establish their independence. What do you think of the prospects, however, on a more negative note, unfortunately, of a war starting like the war that took place between 1967 and 70?
Thank you so much, and I thank you for that comment. Where the expectation of Biafrans is we get the support from the United States of America, and again we already see some signs to that, and we are very, very happy where we are right now. In the area of the war breaking out, or what happened between 1967 and now, I have to let you know that is a different scenario right now. So many things have changed in the area of the information that the world have right now on what Biafrans went through between 1967 and 1970. There's a lot of awareness right now that's been created by Biafrans all over the world that we all need to go home and develop our nation. Unlike in the past where there is suppression, there's limited information of what is happening inside the Biafra territory. During the 1967 to 1970 war, Nigeria carried out a mass starvation of innocent kids. We are over 3 million, and almost 3 to 5 million innocent Biafrans were starved to death because they didn't have the right information. Some of the countries in the world didn't even know what is happening. So many things have changed. We don't expect that. The killings that have been done by the Nigerian state on a daily basis, even as of 2 days ago, some of the images are so gory, and when you see the pattern of these killings are patterned after jihadism, after the terrorism, because Biafrans are by nature very, it is difficult for Biafrans to spill blood. But what happens is that the delegitimized Nigerian governors that are occupying the Biafra territory in the southeast and south part of Nigeria, working collaboratively with the Nigerian state, they ship all these killers, all these mercenaries into the Biafra land. So the world has more information right now on what is happening in Biafra territory. That is why the way we are going about it right now is definitely going to be different from what obtained between 1967 and 1970.
I certainly hope so. And in conclusion, what would you say to the Christians and other people of goodwill around the world about the struggle of the people of Biafra today?
Thank you so much for that question. Christians in Nigeria are begging to leave. We are begging to leave. People are attacked in their homes with guns, with AK-47, with machetes. People are butchered while they are sleeping. Innocent children are butchered. Women and girls are raped in the bushes. Christians cannot converge and practice their religion securely, safely in Biafra land and in other parts of Nigeria. What I have to say is that we have to be persistent. We have to carve out a country where both Christians and Muslims have the right to exist without anyone killing each other. But what happens in Nigeria is that you have a country where there is an agenda to Islamize the whole country. And this plan is being perpetuated, is being carried out by the Nigeria state. Currently, the Prime Minister of the United States of Biafra is being detained and incarcerated in Finland by the Finnish authority on a very flimsy excuse that Simon Ekpa, who is our Prime Minister, is inciting Biafrans. How can you incite people that are just begging to leave? People that are killed by their hundreds every day. And we have our leader, Prime Minister Simon Ekpa. Nigerian government, through their Foreign Affairs Minister, Bianca Ojukwu, has just laid off some truncated charges against our Prime Minister, and Finland arrested him just 2 weeks before we declared our independence. But Biafrans, mostly who are Christians, we were resolute. We all converged in Finland. We were able to declare our independence despite Finland holding our Prime Minister to truncate that process. So that shows that you cannot just defeat an ideology. We are Christians. We are begging to live. We do not want to live in a country whose policy is to rehabilitate and reintegrate non-terrorists like Boko Haram into the military, into the police. Nothing is secure. So I encourage Biafrans to be resolute. I encourage Christians all over Nigeria to be resolute. We have to seek our ground and ensure that it is okay for self-determination. It is okay for self-defense. These are rights that are guaranteed by the United Nations, by the African Charter. But the Nigerian government, as is currently constituted, is trying to take that freedom away from us. So we are not going to back down. It is our right to choose who is going to be our leader. It is our right to defend our people from the reintegrated terrorists that are coming to kill us. It is our right to go back and develop Biafra land. By the declaration we've done, we are going to go home and practice our religion and not be scared. Just as it happens in near Ebonyi State a few days ago, where people were in the church and they came in and gunned down almost 30 people. Just like that, including innocent children. These children did not commit any crime. Their crime is just to exist in a nation called Nigeria. How long are we going to be forced to live in a country where the president never make any statements to these killings? No remorse. The governor's nothing. All the governor did was do not retaliate. How long are they going to continue to tell us do not retaliate? And we are massacred by the day, by the night. So we are pursuing the course, our freedom to self-defend our land, to self-defend our people, using every legal available means to ensure that our people are not murdered every single day.
Excellently stated, and thank you. I would observe that the government of Finland is acting like Western governments all over Europe as well as North America. They don't have any idea of the jihad. They don't have any idea what they're doing to their own countries by bringing in massive numbers of Muslim migrants. They will be facing the same thing that Biafrans are facing today in the future because of their short-sighted actions. And so I applaud you and thank you for calling upon Christians, upon Biafrans, upon all free people to be resolute. This is something that we all need to take to heart and be of good courage. Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, thank you very much for speaking with me, for bringing attention to these all-important issues. And I wish you and the Biafran people all success. May God bless your efforts and prosper them and enable you to establish a strong and independent state that will withstand all pressures from outside. Thank you very much again.
Thank you so much, Robert Spencer, for having me. Thank you so much, and may God bless all of us.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You will notice that in course of the interview, there are some questions that was asked by this Truümp representative, and Ngozi Orabueze couldn't provide a straight answer to it. Though the woman tried her best, she answered some questions the way she can answer it, but she knows that there are some questions that she will answer that was asked in this very interview, that if she should answer it, it is a foul blow to Biafra. Yes, obviously, nobody is expected, even if they should ask the question to the most holy person in the entire world, that person will not still come up with the truth. That was what happened because of this time, because a lot of people actually came up with the fact that, oh, Ngozi Orabueze actually lied, she made an obvious lie because of the interview. Yes, we know that she lied, but the truth must be told in that particular place, because she was trying to defend her people, she was trying to present her people very well, and she was trying to ensure that they give the liberation to her people, because these people will be pursuing and they'll be looking forward for the liberation right from time. So she can't use one interview to actually spoil the entire show. Now let me date you back to what was said in this very video. You know, they asked Ngozi Orabueze the question. They said, is it that Trump did not invite Nigerian government, but he recognizes Biafran government and invite them for his inauguration and all of that? Because according to what Ngozi Orabueze said, Ngozi Orabueze actually bring about the question. Ngozi Orabueze said that Trump did not invite Nigerian government, and that is due to every of the shenanigans that Nigerian government have been doing and all of that, that Trump is aware. So Trump did not invite them to his inauguration. But if you look at this video very well, that man used that same statement of Ngozi Orabueze to question her. The man said, he said, is it that Trump did not invite Nigerian government, which is obvious that Trump did not invite them, but is it that Trump invited Biafra group to his inauguration and all of that? And Ngozi Orabueze said yes. He said yes, Trump invited Biafra group to his inauguration by recognizing them, so Trump invited them and all of that. So the moment Ngozi Orabueze presented that answer, the man laughed, because he knew that Ngozi Orabueze actually fell victim of the question. She lied in course of the interview, because obviously that man can say that, oh, Trump invited the group of Biafra to his inauguration and all of that. Okay, provide the evidence. Let us see the invitation letter. That's where the problem will come from. Had it been that the man asked for the invitation letter, it is obvious that Trump did not invite any African group and all of that. Nobody was invited in Africa. Talk less of Biafra. So Trump did not invite Biafra. So if the man should ask that, where is the evidence? Where is the invitation letter that Trump actually gave to Biafra group to showcase in his inauguration few days ago and all of that? Ngozi Orabueze will not be able to provide it, and the truth will come out that Trump did not invite them. Now, these people are fighting for their liberation and all of that. It is obvious that yes, they must try to defend every possible means to which they need to be liberated, because they be pursuing this thing right from time, and they face a lot of persecutions, they face a lot of trials, and they face a lot of troubles for Nigerian government and all of that. Now, Ngozi Orabueze, just to defend her people, she need to patch some lies just to ensure that Biafrans were presented well in course of that interview. Now, Ngozi Orabueze is the best person that can stand in for that kind of interview. If you should bring out anybody as far as the Biafran liberation team is concerned, they will not be able to defend Biafra in that kind of interview, because that's one of the highest interview that Biafrans have ever granted right from time. That's one of the greatest interview, because that man that was seated in front of Ngozi Orabueze in course of that interview is a representative of Trump himself and all of that. So all those questions that was asked is not his own personal question. It's representing someone which everyone actually know. So Ngozi Orabueze is the best person. Even Simon Ekpa himself will not be able to defend Biafra the way Ngozi Orabueze actually defended Biafra in that very interview. So now tell me, why is it that Biafrans are now fighting this woman left, in and center? Why is it that this woman in question will be doing everything possible just for the liberation to stand? She'll be the one granting all sort of interviews. She'll be the one doing everything. She even anchored the program in the final convention last year towards November ending and December beginning. She anchored the program and she made it a success. And this woman in question will be doing all the fight and all of that. So why is it that there are some Biafran people that actually against her and they trying to overthrow her? Why is all this thing happening and the woman in question is still the one trying to fight for them and trying to just grant the interview and lie for them so that they can be presented well and they can get their liberation? Why is all this thing happening to her? Now drop a opinion in the comment section of this video. And for those people that said that, oh, Ngozi Orabueze lied and all of that, now tell tell me if you're in the same shoe. You're not gonna lie on behalf of your people. Drop up in the comment section of this video as I'm gonna to get that one for you and share. Follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG Watch TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious cause plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor with the back, where? Politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.